Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel Vela Talks. Today I am going to read 3 stories from Reddit's AITA forum and give my advice on them. I will include the name and title in the description for those who, like me, like to go and check out the original story themselves. Now, on to the first story from Minute Common 6625. AITA for refusing to pay for my daughter's plane ticket but paying for my youngest daughter who this vacation is dedicated to. Hello all. I have 2 daughters named Kate, 23 female, and Alexa, 16 female. For starters, Kate lives with me rent-free and bill-free. She used to live with her mother full-time, but her mom kicked her out at 18. I don't blame her mother though. Kate was absolutely terrible in her teenager years. She was rude, disrespectful, and would steal, smoke, skip class, etc. Kate barely finished high school and was put in a continuation school. Since this though Kate is doing a lot better, she didn't want to go to college, but she works at a fast food restaurant and is saving up for her own apartment. Alexa on the other hand is the opposite. She's amazing in school, works, volunteers, and still has time to do sports and clubs. I'm extremely proud of her and feel as if she puts too much pressure on herself. Me and my girlfriend decided to surprise her on a vacation. Alexa has always wanted to go there and it wasn't as pricey as we expected. We planned this in early October. I told Kate about the vacation and asked if she wanted to come, but she would have to pay her own ticket. She said yes and would give me the money before Halloween. Well, she never gave me the money even after being reminded, so I booked the trip November 1st for the 18 to 21 of November. I told my daughter this Sunday at dinner and she was very excited. Kate then said, "You'll have to cancel and hope they refund." I work those days. I told her she wasn't coming since she didn't pay. She was confused and thought I was paying for her. I told her that she was an adult who worked and lived free, why would I pay? She got upset and said, "Because I'm your daughter and that I was paying for Alexa, so why not her?" An argument then happened which resulted in Alexa and Kate crying and Kate saying she hated me. Kate has been ignoring us until we apologize and pay her ticket, which I won't. Well, yesterday Alexa sent me a link to a video on TikTok where it shows Kate crying and explaining the situation, but she lied about a lot of things in the videos and made Alexa and I look like bad guys. The video got a lot of attention and support. She even opened up a GoFundMe where she received close to $500. I showed my girlfriend and we were both livid. Alexa was also very upset about the comments, which fueled my anger. When she came home a huge argument broke out and I basically kicked her for the week. She's been posting on social media platforms talking about me, my daughter and girlfriend. My daughter even got some nasty messages on her social media. My girlfriend told me I'm right on this, but my daughter told me to just pay for her ticket. I want to know if I'm doing the right decision, so help. Oh my gosh. NTA. Do not under any circumstance let your 23-year-old get her way. Do not pay for that plane ticket, in fact, don't even let her back into your home. Let her deal with her deceit and consequences of her actions. She sounds extremely ungrateful and entitled. For a 23-year-old, she's quite immature. Bashing you guys on social media for not getting her way yet still expecting to get what she wants. No. Not happening. Stand your ground and don't give in to that ungrateful brat. Shaking my head at the audacity. Now, on to the second story from Innocence 23. AITA for telling my child she doesn't have to hug anyone, including her dad? This has been an ongoing battle for the last couple years, so just looking for some input. My 37 female family consists of my husband, we'll call him H for simplicity, 35 male, and our 3 kids, J, 11 female, O, 7 male, and L, 1 male. H is the father of all 3. O is autistic and H, while never formally tested, also has autistic tendencies. They both love hugs/cuddles/physical affection and get along great. Jay and myself prefer not to be hugged/touched unless we are in the mood for it or request it. Now, as a married adult, I try to give H more physical affection than I want, because it is his love language, and I try to show him love in his terms sometimes. According to him, it is still not often enough. But Jay is a tween girl. She dislikes us half the time just for existing. Sometimes she will give me hugs, but I make sure they are on her terms, and don't demand them. H, on the other hand, will ask her for a hug, because I told him he had to ask after previous arguments between them from him forcing them on her, and then get super pissed at her if she says no. When I tell him that it is her right to do so, he then yells at me. For example, before school this morning, Jay was moody. This is typical, she is not a morning person. He told her good morning and she sorta grunted in response. Then he asked her for a hug and she shook her head no and came downstairs for breakfast. After, she needed to run back upstairs to use the restroom before we left. She voiced concern that her dad was upstairs and seemed mad at her for saying no before. I reminded her that she does not have to hug anyone if she doesn't want, and that I'd remind him if it came up. Of course, he asked her again for a hug when she came out of the bathroom. She declined. He started fussing at her about disrespect and she came back downstairs to me. He started yelling down the stairs about how she was disrespecting him and that was no excuse for a child to not hug her own dad. I told him that he asked and she is allowed to say no. She doesn't like unwanted hugs and didn't want one. When the kids headed out to school, I asked them to yell, "Bye" up to their dad who was still getting dressed. Oh, immediately did. Jay quietly said she was feeling too angry at him for yelling at her. He yelled back down, "I love you, oh," but said nothing to her. So mature, I know. Then H came down and bitched at me for always taking Jay's side with the affection issue. He says I am going to turn her into a disrespectful brat who doesn't listen to her parents and says he isn't having that in his house. I responded calmly, but did not change my views. He left for work mad at me too. H has always gotten along better with O than with J. But to literally tell one child he loves them and ignore the other really upsets me. Anyway, AITA for taking my daughter's side and telling her she doesn't have to hug anyone, even her dad? Wow. NTA. Your husband needs to get over himself. Yes, I understand that your daughter is still a child, but him always forcing physical affection on her is not a good thing. Not because he's her father means she must hug him whenever he wants. That is not sending a good example out to her. He should respect her boundaries, and you need to make him understand that too, and not just tell him. Even though you tell her she doesn't have to hug him, you're not doing enough to make him understand that he's not obligated to get a hug from her whenever he wants. You need to stop that too. Yes, it's his love language, but at the time with that action, you're telling your daughter it's okay to do something that make you uncomfortable for the sake of keeping someone else happy, which I think is not right at all. Sit your husband down and tell him to stop that crap. Also, telling one kid he loves them and not the other shows how immature he himself is. If he continues this behavior, she's simply going to distance herself from him at first opportunity. Don't be surprised if she distances herself from you too. Now, on to the third story from 62826G. AITA for punishing my daughter for making us all worried? My wife and I have a son, 17M, together. 16 years ago, I was drunk and I slept with another woman which resulted in another child, 16F. My wife forgave me, but she made it clear that she doesn't want to be anywhere near my daughter. I have my daughter every other weekend and my wife would just go to her parents' home every time she is with me. A few days ago, we were going out with my extended family and my daughter was also invited, but her mom wasn't invited. She asked me if I could give her a ride and I said yes, but when my wife found out she said that while she doesn't have a problem with my daughter being there, she doesn't want her to come with us. I tried to change her mind, but I couldn't, so I asked both my brothers if either of them would bring my daughter with them. They both said yes, so I called my daughter and told her I have some problem and asked her to come with one of her uncles, and she said it's okay. Well, we went there and both my brothers came and my daughter wasn't with either one of them. They both said that my daughter told them she is going with the other one. I called her and her mom and all her friends, but no one knew where she is, so everyone just left to search for her, and after a few hours my son found her. I was so mad at her, I yelled at her and told her how she made us all worried. I took away her car that I bought for her as a punishment. Her mom has been calling me, saying I'm an asshole and demanding I give her car back. Edit, just to clarify, she didn't drive there because it had a dangerous road and she is not a good driver, so I told her she is not allowed to drive there. Edit, okay, everyone, I got it. I'm the asshole. I gave her car back. It seems like everyone thought I was taking the car forever. I wasn't. It was just supposed to be for a month. I tried to talk to her, but she doesn't want to talk. However, she talked to my son and he told me she was very upset and didn't come because she thought I didn't want her there, and the reason she didn't tell us where she was going was, as I guessed, to ruin my day and make me angry. I called her and apologized and told her that we are going out again and promised that she'll come with me this time, and she seemed happy about it. I also had a conversation with my wife and told her that as much as I wanted her to come with us, if she can't be in the same car as my daughter, then she needs to find someone else to give her a ride. She left to her parents' home and I'm not sure what she is gonna do. Okay then. Looks like this one was resolved, and it seems you know what you are. Still, your wife got some issues with you. She shouldn't have taken you back. Blame it on the alcohol, sure, but you and your wife should have split from the moment she refused to accept your daughter, and you are an extra a-hole by treating your daughter as an inconvenience just to please your wife, who's honestly not obligated to treat your daughter like she was her own. It's been years and she still treats her like an unwanted mistake. Your wife needs to either suck it up or leave. She still has the option to leave you, so as she's chosen to stay, she needs to grow up and take it as it is. Also, I see divorce in your future. A woman can only tolerate that crap for so long. Now, on to the fourth story from Sir Professional 4024. AITA for not letting my daughter use her college fund for a wedding or house. Backstory: I, 43 female, have 4 kids. L, 22 female, Katie, 17 female, Cam, 15 male, Isla, 5 female, and I'm also currently pregnant. Me and my husband, 50 male, started adding to college funds every month for each of our kids pretty much as soon as we found out we were pregnant. I won't say the exact amount, but my husband has an excellent job, so it's more than most. We never told our kids because it just didn't feel necessary. Elle got pregnant when she was 16 and ended up dropping out of school. I was very disappointed, but I understood. However, I was under the impression she would return later, but she has no plans to. The dad stuck around and now they have one more kid, 3, and one on the way. They are engaged, but don't plan to marry until they can afford it. They were doing okay financially for a while, but due to the market right now they've been struggling because Elle can't get a job since she doesn't have a diploma, so we've been loaning them money. Katie is a senior and just got accepted into college. We've been setting everything up and obviously she knows about the fund now. Katie and Elle were talking and she was telling Elle about the school and Elle asked how she was planning on paying for it. Katie responded, "My college fund." I was in the room while they were talking and this made me panic. We had just planned on splitting it between the remaining 4 since we knew they were going to college. Elle asked me if they all had one and I wasn't going to lie, so I said yes. She got really excited and went to call her fiancé and tell him the good news. I was confused and told her she couldn't have the money. She asked why and I said it's for school. She got upset and left my house. The next day I get a call from Elle. She was crying and begging me to let her have the funds so she could finally afford a down payment and maybe even a wedding. I told her she could have the money if she went back to school and whatever money was left over she could use for whatever she wanted. She got super mad and started yelling at me and saying it's her money. I told her that it was my money and those were my conditions, and she hung up. Now we are being harassed by her fiancé's family. They aren't as fortunate as us, calling us assholes and a lot of other names. Saying it's all gonna go to waste if she doesn't use it, we're setting her up for failure, etc. Now I'm wondering if I'm the a-hole, because my dad said we should give her the money as we've saved it for her after all. So am I the a-hole? There's an update, but I still want to give my take on the original story before I read it out. NTA, your daughter is just a bit desperate, and I can say hormones may have her acting out a little. Still, she needs to understand that you're in it for her best interest, and it would be a good thing to have an education where if something happens, God forbid, she'd be able to help her fiancé out. She has a growing family after all. Now for the update. I think this is within the rules, please correct me if it's not. My daughter came over on Thursday and we were able to work things out. We both apologized and had a long discussion. She will be getting her GED and will be going to a trade school in exchange for me giving her whatever money is left over. She hasn't decided which one yet, but it will probably be cosmetology. Her fiancé's family has apologized. We also decided to pay for a small wedding ceremony and reception as a gift. Alrighty. NTA, as you already know, I'm glad you and your daughter were able to come to a conclusion. Let's hope she keeps her word and finishes school where she could actually further herself. As for her fiancé's family, don't get too comfortable with them. Now, for the fifth story by Tia Cooking Daughter 4. AITA for telling my daughter she can cook herself now if she doesn't like my cooking? I, 40 female, have a daughter Erin, 16. When Erin was 10, me and my ex-husband Mike divorced and he moved to a different city for work. He would come and see Erin a few times a year and sometimes she would fly to see him. As I'm the only adult Erin has left, I normally cook for both of us, and occasionally for my boyfriend when he is over for dinner. I am not a health freak and mostly try to make filling and nutritional meals with cheat meals once or twice a week. I also try to make meals from different cuisines at least once a week. A few months ago, my ex-husband moved back to our city alongside with his wife Kim, 32. Erin was happy about it as it meant she could see her dad more often, and we have agreed that she can stay over their new place over the weekend and holidays if they don't have other plans. I have met Kim a few times, and she seems lovely, and I trust Mike to look after her. However, since staying with them, Erin kept talking what a good cook Kim is and how tasty her food is. When I have asked her what she is having when she stays, she mentioned a lot Asian and Asian-inspired dishes, which I have no issues with, since I went through a phase of eating a specific cuisine for a few years when I was younger too. So I have tried making more Asian-like foods at home to keep Erin happy: ramen, pad thai, different grilled meats, kimchi, etc. However, no matter what I make, new or old dishes, Erin would say she doesn't like them and they don't taste good. I have tried cooking her favorite meals and desserts from before and got the same reaction. Over last 2 weeks it got to the point where she would refuse to eat anything I cook and would either go and stay with friends or have food at Mike's place. I got tired of this, and when Erin came back, told her that if she doesn't like my cooking she can cook herself and do her own shopping, since she knows how to cook and we have a large supermarket 2 minutes down the road from us. Erin got upset and went to her bedroom to pick her clothes and is currently staying with Mike. Mike and my own parents called me to tell I am being unreasonable and an a-hole since Erin is my daughter, so I can't keep starving her. I don't think I am being an a-hole here since my daughter refuses to eat anything I make these days, however, would appreciate a second opinion. Edit, I realized I have mixed the names a few times and corrected it. Edit 2, I was asked to add this to the post: the food is always available in the fridge. If it is not eaten by the time she goes to school, me or my BF just eat it for lunch ourselves and make something new for dinner. Plus there's always snacks, cereals, different sides, fruits and veggies in the fridge or cupboards which she can help herself with. Humph. NTA. So her dad is back in town and suddenly she doesn't like your cooking despite you cooking what she likes, usually likes, or whatnot. It seems to me your daughter wants to go leave with her father, and is making ridiculous excuses so you would cave and let her go. If I were you, I would. That's the type of negativity I don't want in my life, an ungrateful teenager. Don't be surprised if she outright tells you she wants to go leave with her father. Don't fight it either if she does. As for your parents and your ex, tell them eat rocks. Simple. Now, for the update. I just wanted to post an update and a somewhat closure. The past few weeks have been hard and I think Erin has seen my post. So she came back home accompanied by her father and Kim. She has apologized for her actions and said there was nothing wrong with the food I made, it just she preferred Kim's cooking at the time, but after living with them for a bit she realized it was not that special. We sat down and Kim gave her perspective. As she runs a local restaurant, when Erin was staying over originally Kim would make restaurant quality dishes that she would serve to the clients, and a lot of times they use more and stronger spices or different more expensive ingredients depending on the dish, and sometimes message to enhance flavor of sauces. When Erin moved in with them and not just coming to see them over the weekend, Kim switched to making similar dishes but in more domestic style. So probably that's why Erin didn't like mine and homemade Kim's meals, as they had less spices or sauces. She also explained it to Erin. Erin seemed to be very excited, so I have asked her if anything happened. She said that Kim allowed her to learn some cooking at her restaurant when it is not too busy, and she asked if I'm okay with this. I was relieved and told her I would be happy for her to learn, but also warned her that she might get distressed with all those after-school activities, and if she wants she can drop some that she doesn't enjoy. I have also suggested her to cook for us a dish she learned, me, my BF, my ex-husband, Kim and herself, maybe once a month, to see how close it would be to restaurant level. We have also agreed to have some cooking days where me and Kim share and exchange our secrets and techniques when cooking, and Erin is free to join in. Haha, okay. Nothing to say on this update, glad they had a happy ending and I happy to see how they get along. But all the best to this family.